the same stuff. You really think you're different, man? You must be kidding. Think you're gonna hit it, but you just don't get it. It's impossible.
Hey, welcome back to Xaviers podcast for gifted listeners. I'm your normal host, Grace Shockey, and today we have Shawn with us.
Hi, guys. I'm Shawn.
Normally, I would have, a little speech set aside, and I'd dedicate this to a specific topic and whatnot, but it's finals week, which means all of my dedication and time has been going to making sure I don't fail.
Right.
So...
Make sure you stay in program.
Yeah. Poor Jess. Jessica, if you're listening to this, we still love you.
I love you, Jess.
But, so with Endgame recently coming out, we've decided to dedicate this partially to one of the Avengers. Mm-hmm. This episode is called Captain America is a Jerk.
Yeah, he's my boy. But the difference is movie Captain America is a very wholesome person. Very
like a golden retriever of
very
humans.
good guy. Comic book Captain America, though, he has his bad days.
Like, wavy hand going, eh.
Yeah. Yeah. He's not that hot of a guy sometimes in the comics. So
especially when it comes to his encounters with the X-Men.
Mm-hmm. His old Civil War buddy, or World War II buddy, Wolverine.
Which, admittedly, Wolverine and Captain America still get along during Avengers vs. X-Men. Mm-hmm. But not really any other time.
Yeah, I mean, they're kind of at each other's backs in Infinity War, not movie. Wolverine is not in the movie. Which,
now that would have made it an interesting movie.
I mean, I guess. Which, did you see the Far From Home trailer that came out today?
I did.
Spoiler alert, by the way, if you have... Well, yeah, spoiler alert. If you haven't seen Endgame, go see Endgame, and if you haven't seen the trailer, go watch the trailer now. Did you watch it? Awesome.
You had 0.2 seconds to do that.
Yes. But they introduced the thought or the idea of a multiverse. And I think if they go with that direction, they might be able to incorporate the X-Men from their movies /
without
Deadpool,
having to recast like anybody.
Mm-hmm. Which I still think they're going to recast because...
I imagine they'll recast some. Mm-hmm. But I have a hard time imagining them recasting, like, Xavier and Magneto.
Jennifer Lawrence, I think, is good. I think she'll stay.
I will eventually dedicate an entire episode to why I dislike Jennifer Lawrence and how she ruined my favorite franchise by being Mystique.
Honey, I think the only problem I really have with Jennifer Lawrence as Mystique is the fact that her makeup has consistently changed. Like, in First Class... I thought she was decent.
She shouldn't have been in First Class to begin with.
Oh, I totally agree with you. I 100% agree with you. I mean, First Class should have been Charles, Magneto, Beast, Jean Grey, Cyclops, Angel, and Iceman. It should not have been...
so many possible storylines by starting off with who they did.
Yeah, straight up. Like, which I think they tried their best. It's just like... I think what they were doing is they were trying to introduce some new characters because so many X-Men had already been exhausted at that point.
That's true.
But then they just turned...
I think we need, like, the New Mutants movie.
Yeah, yeah. They just turned back around and used those same characters in the next movie.
The main characters. The characters that have been there since day one, they have the most
Jean Grey,
storylines.
Wolverine, exactly, yeah.
Like,
they
don't mess with the Colonel's original recipe.
11 different X-Men's and spices.
Yes.
Oh, so this is just something off topic. The album that I'm working on.
Oh my gosh, yes, it's fantastic.
I had an idea for a song, called X-Men, but instead of the letter X, it's EX, and it's about how everyone in the mansion dates each other, and then they just have no regard for anyone else.
That would be... Oh my god.
That was, well, we have this group chat, this super stuff group chat, and I'll add you to it actually because you need to be a part of it. It's called Super Black Stuff, and Tonray made it, which is why it's called that. But it's
gonna have some concerns there for a moment.
Yeah. It's me, Tonray, George, Philip, and Anthony, and we're just brainstorming ideas for this song. And so far the best ideas that I've heard is a Fantastic Four song about how they're sexually frustrated. Like how every time Human Torch says flame on, he's a bisexual man, and every time he just says "flame on," he's gay. Every time he's not on fire, he's straight.
Oh my gosh.
Invisible woman, but she's only invisible when she's horny. All this crazy stuff, and it was a decent idea, and I'm racking it in my brain right now, wondering if I actually want to put it to music.
Obviously, they do like parody stuff.
Yeah, we're starting a parody Marvel album. I haven't actually ever even talked about that on the podcast, so you're hearing it here first. Yeah,
woo!
It'll probably come out in like 12 years, but
you've got what, like 2-3 songs now?
I have 2.5 to music. I have 5 written. And we're looking at 13 for the album. I have a tentative list of songs for the album, and then like 4 or 5 that we're kind of tossing around. Whether or not we're going to do them is a different story, but who knows?
Obviously, my favorite's the Deadpool one so far.
Yeah, that one's good.
Because that one's just hilarious.
I love it.
Which y'all will get to hear that whenever they debut all of that. Won't spoil it. Just know that it's way funnier than the comics were.
Oh, yeah. But back on topic.
Yes, Captain America is a jerk.
Let's hear something you have to say about Captain America, Grasse.
Oh my gosh, where do I begin? Like you said, he's not a bad person solo.
No.
But it seems that every time he comes to interact with the X-Men, it just ends really badly, and he doesn't seem to know how to not piss them off.
Whenever he retired, he really got angry because like they replaced him with another guy.
Yeah.
And he came back, fought him to the death, and was like, "I'm Captain America." And then
Which
he
is
got
a very
replaced.
not Captain America thing you should do.
Yes. Then he got replaced, and then the next guy was like the Ultimate Avenger or whatever, and he was the first Captain America who was worthy of Mjolnir. So he wielded the shield and Mjolnir. And, like, that was Captain America for a while. And he had the dopest costume. I actually have a picture of it here that I'll show you. He had an amazing costume. Yeah, it's this one right here, the black and red.
Oh,
That was
okay.
Ultimate Captain America. And then Steve Rogers came to the future and was like, "I hate you. I'm Captain America." And that's not how he sounds. But he started like,
if it was.
yeah, he started like Boy Scout bashing this guy and started like punching him in the face and stuff. And then the guy's like, "Hey, guess what? Lightning hammer," and then kills Steve Rogers. But
The multiverse is really a mess.
I love it. The Venomverse is much worse, but have you ever read the Venomverse comics?
No.
I'll tell you about that later. It's a whole thing.
I primarily am X-Men focused, which is why I really honestly don't know a whole lot about Captain America outside of his interactions with the X-Men.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
well, there's a whole series called Heroes Reborn. Here's a picture of Captain America from Heroes Reborn. It just looks like someone didn't want... They
never took a basic anatomy class.
Yeah.
Or, honestly, a basic art class either,
Yeah.
because the perception... Like, it's supposed to be a profile, like, side, but they tried to show the entire chest.
The whole star. They wanted to put the star on there is what it was.
Okay, that's what it was.
So
And,
that's why he's like, look at my whole chest
way
and my shoulder.
too many muscles going
Oh,
on
yeah.
there. But
It's
that's
terrible.
almost every
Yeah.
male comic.
Yeah, way too many muscles.
Yeah.
Which
like,
I kind of...
I've seen, the muscular system
Yeah.
as
Yeah,
a
yeah.
pre-med student. That's one of the things that we do a lot of is dissections. And even though I haven't gotten to dissect on a cadaver, I know enough about the human body to know that even, like, you see it in the movies when they get ripped and stuff, they have, like, nice definition. But the comics are just like, see how big I can get these biceps. And at times it looks like there's like 30 different muscles in the arm when, that's just really not the case in real life.
Oh, yeah, and it's not like it would ever actually become the case, like, which is why I really like Fat Thor.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Fat Thor is my god. I love him. And I don't think he's going to stick around for very long, but for now, whee!
The best. Made me, like, slightly happy for the Avengers in that moment.
Straight up.
Because as an X-Men fan, I'm kind of obligated to dislike the Avengers based on everything that happened in Avengers vs. X-Men, which I guess is also probably where my dislike of Captain America also stems from, where he spends the entire, like, storyline trying to kidnap Cyclops' granddaughter. And so
elaborate on that too,
Oh
because
my
you
gosh.
just reread the comic book
I
series
did
today,
just reread
right?
it. And to be fair, it starts off a little messy, and I can understand how, you know,
It's
it
not
got
worth a whole
so
lot,
out
yeah.
of hand.
Yeah, yeah.
Because Cable was presumed dead during, like, the Second Coming, when they were figuring out what Hope's powers were and everything like that, because she was already proclaimed to be the, you know, mutant messiah after Scarlet Witch wiped out most of mutants.
Right.
Thanks, Scarlet Witch.
In the one series that she managed to
House
to do
of
such.
M.
Yeah, House of M.
And, so anyway, he was presumed dead, but he's actually, like, off in the future. And he finds out that Hope gets killed by the Avengers.
Scott finds this out?
No, Cable finds
Cable
this
finds
out.
Okay, see, I haven't read... I've read it, but it's been since I was a kid, I think.
Yeah, I had to reread it because I was kind of like... I remembered
little messy on it, yeah.
specific things, but not the overall of
That's
how
how
it
I
got
am with the
started.
Civil War series, yeah.
And so anyway, Cable comes back from this future, and he's like, well, there's no way in hell I'm gonna let the Avengers, you know, kidnap my daughter and kill her, so I'll just start and go ahead and get a head up on them and kill them first.
Mm-hmm. Logical.
Yeah. You know, comic book logic.
Flawed.
Flawed. So flawed.
We love you, Cable, if you're listening to this.
Oh no, Cable's dead.
Yeah.
If you haven't read Extermination, now you know.
Right? Sorry, spoiler alert for the 5 people that still read comics.
Leave them alone. We love the comic readers out there.
They're my favorite people. They're literally me and my friends.
So anyway, he kidnaps a couple of Avengers, and at this point, people are realizing, hey, something's up. Why is Cable kidnapping the Avengers?
Right.
So I believe it's Scott and Hope go, and they're like, hey, you should probably release the Avengers that you have kidnapped right now, because this isn't looking too good, buddy. But, you know, Cable kind of says, screw that, in much more explicit terms. And it's a whole ordeal. At the time, he's actually fighting Spider-Man. I know, which just seems so strange, because I often think of Tom Holland against, like,
Hey,
Cable.
I'm Toby. I'm Tom. I'm Andrew Garfield.
And,
Lyric debut.
So, in my mind, I picture, like, you know, Tom Holland versus Cable. And it just feels so wrong. But I guess it's not the first time he's really thought about killing a child.
Right. I mean, yeah. Right? Spider-Man's
so-
one of the only characters to have been a member of the X-Men and the Avengers. Not one of the only,
I
but
was
one of the
gonna
only...
say-
I think might be the only non-mutant.
Because if we, like, talk about, like, the newer Avengers.
Yeah, Storm was an
Havoc,
Avenger. Havoc.
Like,
I mean,
leads
Beast
the
has
new
been an
Avengers.
Avenger a couple
Yeah,
times.
screw Beast. That's a whole nother topic. He's got some issues, and we're gonna work on them.
It's a conversation for another day.
Rogue is
Yeah.
in the Avengers now.
Captain America, never been a mutant. I don't even think he's ever been in the mansion.
No, probably not allowed.
They won't let him. What's the one quote Wolverine says to
Oh my
Captain
gosh.
America? I know you have
I
it
love
saved
it.
on your phone.
I do. It's actually like right on my phone now, because I
yeah.
had the one from Avengers vs. X-Men when Captain America storms Utopia's beach, and then right beside it is the one I have with Wolverine.
That's from Infinity War, right?
I can't
The
remember
Captain
if
America
it's
Wolverine
Infinity
one?
War or if it's Civil. No, it's Infinity War, because Civil War is actually relatively new storyline wise.
Well, the 90s Civil War it's a completely different story arc, but Wolverine didn't really have a big part of it.
Yeah.
Captain America did though, and he was a boss in that story arc, because like he was fighting for everyone's rights, predominantly mutants' rights, because they were like, once Nitro exploded and killed like all of the new warriors, the government was like, what are we going to do about this? And then Tony Stark was like, how about every superhero has to register, and like those who don't, we kill them. And Captain America was like, that's wrong. These people deserve rights. And Scott Summers is like, you really care about us? He's like, of course I care about you, Scott. And then everyone's
And
like,
then he's got
this
his fingers
is extremely
crossed behind
off
his
character.
back.
Yeah. I'm like, Scott Summers and Captain America literally hate each other.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
They're both complete whitewater leader characters, but they hate each other.
Okay, so here's the Wolverine quote. And it's what you don't understand, Captain, is that we mutants are at war. Always have been, always will be. You with your high flaunting ideals, you're the champion of the American dream, fighting for liberty and justice. But only for your own kind, for humans, for regular Americans. But you just stand by while mutants are being persecuted, don't you? When have you ever fought for our rights? And it's not the first time that we encounter that exact kind of ordeal with the Avengers. You know, Earth's mightiest champions.
Heroes.
But
whatever.
But what have they done for mutants?
I mean, you're right. They haven't done a whole lot. I mean, they gave Storm a pretty boss husband.
Fair.
They've been married, 60 years
They
now?
got
I say that like they're my
divorced.
friends, No way!
Yeah, in the comics, they're
T'Challa and
divorced.
Aurora got divorced?
And
Like
they have
I said,
a son.
I say it like it's my freaking friends. I'm like, no way! They got divorced? When?
Why didn't they tell us?
I was at their wedding. They seemed fine.
Yeah, they had like a kid. And
I knew they had a kid. Their
Ugh.
kid was like Iron Man or something. It was weird.
Yeah,
Like their kid became Iron Man or something.
I didn't follow that too closely. Okay. So, on that note, continuing in like Avengers versus X-Men.
Yeah.
And the reason why I personally don't like Captain America is most of his encounters with Scott Summers sort of end in the same way, which is Captain America being a jerk, and Scott Summers once again saying, "What have you ever done to help us?" Except repeatedly try to kidnap my granddaughter
Right?
and kill her.
And it's just because, she's another Phoenix.
Yeah, pretty much. And
you guys take care of the first one, the most powerful one. I'll go after the second one.
to be fair, Hope was a little unstable, but
So was the Hulk, and he was one of the top 4 members of the Avengers.
and it's not like they were around when Jean Grey destroyed, an entire planet.
Right.
Like,
Granted, it wasn't their planet, but...
exactly. They only care about themselves.
Yep.
So,
Jesus.
in conclusion,
Captain America in the movies is a sweetheart. Captain America in the comics,
is a jerk.
yeah.
And I'm sure at some point we'll elaborate on it more, because I imagine I'll do an entire storyline discussion of Avengers versus X-Men, because
Oh, sure.
it's
sure.
so long, and obviously I can't include it in, 3 minutes.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, well. Thanks for having me on.
no, it was good to have a conversation with somebody and not be staring at, college books
Yeah.
and drinking Red Bull.
It feels so good to see the light. What's it like out there? Do people still laugh? Oh, I missed the laughter. It was great.
That's how I feel. I look out the window and I'm like, sunshine.
See, I'm noticing a lot of people are already done with college. Like George,
I know.
he finished his finals last week.
WVU got done early.
Mm-hmm.
And
Woot woot. Poor Jess.
poor Jess.
George failed one of his finals.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
George,
spoiler
if you're
alert.
listening, we still love you too.
No, I don't.
Don't listen to him.
Yeah. George is great. However, he's gonna have to take another math class next year.
Oh, no, that's the worst.
Yeah. Oh well. He'll grow up.
So, good luck to everybody else taking finals.
Yeah.
Hope you survive that experience.
Good luck to all the nerds, and if you're not a nerd, get nerdy. Hashtag get nerdy or get...
If you don't have
elsewhere.
college, take this time to read the Avengers vs. X-Men storyline and join the Captain America as a Jerk Club.
Mm-hmm.
We have many followers.
I'm kind of... I go to every other meeting.
Every other meeting. Tune in next week and I'll discuss something. I'll let you know when I figure it out.
Something. Cool. Bye, guys.